Moving into week 15 of the NFL season, and we've already lost two head coaches. Todd Haley of the Kansas City Chiefs has been relieved of duties. Romeo Crennel is now the head coach.
Hmm.
And, oh, Tony Sparano's gone.
Oh,
Surprise, surprise. The
who didn't
Suck
see
for
that
Luck
one coming?
campaign ended with the coach losing, not
Hmm.
Andrew Luck coming. Moving into the games this week, the Thursday night game is the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Um, you see any big surprises coming out of this?
Nah, none whatsoever. The Falcons had put together a really good second half last week. I really see them building off that and looking towards the postseason. Right now, they're in a very comfortable position to get that wild card spot. I really see them pushing forward and getting that last wild card spot off that second half of the Carolina game.
The Falcons are 8-5 this year already, so you're looking at they have the fifth seed right now in the
Hmm.
NFC. We'll see what happens the rest of the way.
Hmm.
They've got three tough games ahead of them. Jacksonville at home,
Should be a win.
New Orleans, which they actually have 10 days to prep for New
That is
Orleans.
going to help tremendously.
Plus, I mean, they played New Orleans down to the wire the last time they played back in
Hmm.
Week 10. And then they have Tampa Bay at home, which Tampa Bay is faltering quickly.
And Raheem Morris could be gone by that game. I don't think they fire him before the season's over, but anything's possible.
Moving on to the Cowboys at Buccaneers on Saturday night. Tough loss for Bryce's Cowboys.
They didn't play last week or the
and
week
it,
before that.
and an even tougher loss for Jeremy and Matt's Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. So they're both coming off really, really tough losses. Dallas needs this game probably more than Tampa Bay does
Oh yeah,
because
much
they
more.
need to
Dallas is still
win.
playing for something. Tampa Bay is not playing for anything.
They're playing for their pride essentially.
Yeah, they lost all last week.
I'm I'm gonna take Dallas in the game, and I don't think Tampa Bay comes anywhere
Yeah, I'm
near.
gonna take Dallas as well.
Dolphins are facing off against the Bills, a really interesting division matchup
Hmm.
because I mean we're looking at a 5-8 Buffalo Bills team who started out the season 5-0 and they've lost eight
Eight straight.
straight.
The injuries just ravaged them. I mean, they were a decent team, and they just have no depth. That's what separates good teams from great teams is depth. Bills have a lot of skill position players, and they're decent, but when you have no depth, you can't go far in the playoffs or in the season.
Miami obviously losing Tony Sparano is going to have a new head coach and you have to think well they may be playing for a little bit of pride also just simply to try to say well it wasn't the head coach's fault
Yeah,
it was ours so we're going to try to give it to
show that it's
yeah
not our fault. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take the Bills in the game they're 4-2 at home this year I've got a feeling.
I'm gonna take the Bills at home as well. When you get a coaching change, it's really hard to get that fluidity. There's no way they win.
Seahawks at Bears this Sunday. The Bears are coming off of a really, really embarrassing loss to Tim Tebow.
Who?
Yeah, him. We're we're not going to start what we did last week.
Come on.
Um, Seattle is coming off of a big Monday Night Football win against St. Louis. If you want to call it big, St. Louis was has two wins this season.
Juggernauts.
Seattle is
Juggernauts.
actually still in the playoff hunt, believe it or not. If they win out against the Bears and a couple other teams, they could actually make the playoffs in the sixth seed. Do you think that's going to happen?
No way. There's no way they're gonna make the playoffs. This is the snoozer. It's just as bad as their last matchup against the Rams. Chicago's hurt on every front. They really need a quarterback. I heard Brett Favre's free. They just need.
Not again.
No, the Bears are really reeling. They just after that loss to the Broncos, after Mile High Messiah coming back and putting a win up against the Bears, I don't see how you can go out and perform, especially with your field general being off, Cutler's gone, Forte's gone. I don't see how you're gonna win any games the rest of the season.
I'm actually going to take the Seahawks.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks away as well.
It's going to be a tough game for Bears, but
Hmm.
we'll see. Titans are facing off against the Colts. Yeah, next.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. Titans,
Titans in the victory.
Titans.
Packers against the Chiefs.
Next,
Yeah,
yeah,
Packers.
Packers.
Chiefs lost big to the Jets last week, so you have to think if they lost big to the Jets, the Packers are
If
a
you
much
put
better
Greg
team.
Jennings and Aaron Rodgers out there and that's it against all 11 of the Chiefs' defense, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings would still win.
Donald Driver is out for the Packers,
It's not
though.
gonna matter.
It's there. He's out 2 to 3 weeks, but the coach has said that he will be there for the
Roy
playoffs.
Williams could play wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers and they'd still win.
Wow. We're taking and obviously another coaching change in Kansas City, so it's tough to win. I'm going to take the
Oh
Packers.
yeah, Packers definitely. By at
Be-
least 30.
Bengals are facing off against the Rams, and if the Bengals want any chance of the playoffs, they need this win bad. They had a really, really tough loss against Houston last week, 19-20. St. Louis, again, their season's pretty much
It's
over.
over.
They're
Yeah.
looking at either a number two or a number three draft pick right now.
That's good. That's good for Sam Bradford, young quarterback. He's kind of roughed up right now. Bengals coming off a loss, but not a bad loss. A loss to the Houston Texans. They've had the number one defense the whole season overall. A terrific defense. It's a playoff team. They should go. Even with TJ Yates at quarterback, they've looked decent at times this year. The Bengals need that win, though. I think they get it on the road.
I agree. I think Bengals win. Saints are facing off against the Vikings. Saints have had a ridiculous stretch right now of
hmm
just terrible teams that they've faced off. Tennessee was the closest one they've had,
hmm
22 to 17. I I'm going to take the Saints against the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Saints in a barn burner because Minnesota plays inside. Look, if you have spare time, look at Drew Brees and Saints stats when they're playing outside this year. It's not very good. I mean, if unless the Saints get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, I mean, they might win the first two, but if they have to travel up to Green Bay and play the Packers, that's going to be embarrassing for Drew Brees because I dare to say if it's snowy and it's cold and they go up there to play them, it's at least a 14 to 20 point game in the Packers' favorite.
Redskins are facing off against the Giants, and if the Giants want to keep pace in this playoff picture, they're going to need this win.
Mm-hmm.
Washington actually kept New England last week to, I mean, they had the game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
New England looked terrible. Rex Grossman was throwing the ball left and right against New England's secondary, and it was just
Who
terrible.
hasn't though this year?
The Giants, on the other hand, Eli has an incredible wide receiving core right
Mm-hmm.
now. So you have to think this might actually be, I mean, the Giants have this game, in my opinion.
They should. They should at home, coming off a really big win against a division opponent. I don't remember who they played last week, but they're
Dallas.
huh? No, I don't think they played
Yeah,
Dallas. No,
they played Dallas.
you sure?
Hmm.
I don't remember that. They're coming off a really big win. They, as much as it pains me to say it, I think Giants are going to take the division. They already took one game at home or away at Dallas. They're going to play Dallas again at the end of the season. I think they pick up this win at Washington and lock up the NFC East here in a little while.
Panthers are facing off against the Texans. The Texans already have the AFC South locked up. Now they're just looking to just continuously go towards possibly locking up a first round bye and maybe even home field
This
advantage.
is really good for the Texans. I think they're in a very good place to give TJ Yates some leeway with the playbook and let him play around with some of the plays. He's only started two games. He's a very young kid. I'm sure he's not completely comfortable in the pocket. This is a very important game to let TJ Yates kind of throw it around, kind of become familiar with the playbook, and it's not a pressure situation. If you lose this, guess what? You're still going to the playoffs. You might have a
Hmm.
little bit not as favorable matchup in the first round, but you're still going to be in it.
Carolina, on the other hand, Cam Newton had an incredible first half
hmm
against the Falcons last week, but then the second half he had two turnovers, and you have to think the turnovers are what's killing the rookie.
Yeah,
So I'm going to take the Texans because the Texans, like Bryce mentioned earlier, has the
defense
number
is
one
terrific.
defense. It's,
Yeah,
it's
I'm going to take the
ridiculous.
Texans. They're 5-1 at home, and watch for Cam Newton. When Cam Newton turns the ball over, he is 0-9 this year.
Lions are facing off against the Raiders. Lions again right now have the number six seed in the NFC West or in the NFC wild card. So you have to think they need this bad.
hmm
However, the Raiders, on the other hand, need this win to actually try to keep pace with Tim Tebow and
Carson
the
Palmer
Denver
needs to figure out how to
Broncos.
throw it to his own team.
He had what, four
Four
interceptions last
interceptions
week?
against a depleted Green Bay defense, a Green Bay defense that has been underwhelming all
Who
season.
is ranked 31st in the NFL this
hmm
season. I'm going to take Detroit in this
I'm
game.
gonna take. And now is Sue back for this game? Has he?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm taking Detroit.
Patriots are facing off against the Broncos in what could be the biggest
Praise
game
the
of the
Miles
week.
High Messiah. He is going to deliver the Patriots.
Are you done?
For now.
Okay, cool. Patriots are facing off against the Broncos in what could be the biggest game of the weekend. Just simply because everybody is on the Tebow bandwagon, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy's seven and
It's
one
more
as a
of a nimbus
starter.
cloud.
He's 7-1 as a
Sun
starter,
rays.
and he's been leading fourth quarter comebacks left and right. Granted, in his wins minus one win, he's his the point differential is like four.
Hey, win's a win, bro.
Win is a win. They're 8-5. They're winning. They're leading the AFC West division right now. So you have to think this is a good thing for Tebow. However, I'm going to take the Patriots. I don't think. I think that what happened last week against the Bears with the Broncos, the Bears decided to play prevent defense in the fourth quarter, which Tim Tebow just decided to say, okay, I'll throw 10-yard passes and keep getting first downs.
How many times have we said this though? How many week after week we look at the back game? We're like, Well, yeah, this is why it's so simple. You break down the game, and this is why Tebow won. If they'd have done this, he wouldn't have won. It's just every single week, it's so simple how to stop him, yet it doesn't happen. I gotta take the Broncos, man. I gotta drink some more of that Tim Tebow Kool-Aid. The Patriots can't stop anybody from throwing around. Tim Tebow almost had 200 yards in the fourth quarter and overtime combined. Maybe he takes a few shots. I gotta take the Broncos at home on this one, man. Have to.
I'm taking the Patriots. Moving on to the Jets at the Eagles. The Jets need this big win because they are fighting for a playoff
hmm
position.
There's no
Um,
way the Eagles win this. They've quit.
really, after last week's big win against Miami,
Yeah, Miami. Seriously, big win against Miami. You look at that team, even on the win. Just look, they're demoralized. They quit. It's the most unprofessional bunch of football players I've ever seen. It's embarrassing for the NFL. It's a horrible brand to put out there. They really look like they've just quit.
I'm taking the Jets in the game.
Me too.
Browns are facing off against the Cardinals with Colt McCoy possibly,
He don't know
concussion-like
what he
system
is.
symptoms because of the hit that James Harrison gave him last week. It,
I'm sorry. Is this football?
oh God,
Are
here
we
we go.
playing football? That's what I thought.
The Cardinals, on the other hand, are coming off of a huge win against San Francisco. However, I mean, we're still looking at a 6-7 Arizona team
Yeah, this
against a 4-9
four
Cleveland
four
team.
and nine. Yeah, this is kind of a snoozer. The only storyline is this is the Colt McCoy injury, and he's not even gonna play. So
I'm taking the Cardinals at home.
I don't care.
Ravens are facing off against the Chargers Sunday night in what could be a really big matchup for the Chargers. The Chargers are coming off of a big win last week against Buffalo, 37-10, which they just tried to get their confidence back,
hmm
which is what they really needed. Baltimore, on the other hand, actually scored some points last week against Indy, 24-10.
That's depressing when you think their offense really exploded. They scored 24 points.
Baltimore
Woo!
is the number 2 seed right now in the AFC, and I mean, you have to think Baltimore's defense is kind of struggling with Ray Lewis out of the
It
picture.
is, it is. But the thing with the Chargers is every year about this time you think, oh, the Chargers are out of it, and they start to roll. That Norv Turner into the season, I don't know what it is, but he lights a fire under the butt, and they start going. I'm gonna have to take the Chargers at home in this one, man. Mike Tolbert for 2 touchdowns.
I actually saw a stat a couple, I guess it was last week, that the Chargers are among the league's best in December, 19-1 over the past couple of
And
years
Baltimore's only
in
favored by
December.
1 point in this game.
I'm going to take the Chargers at home as well. I
Yep.
think that's a big win for them. Monday night, Pittsburgh. It's
Huge game.
biggest game of the weekend just simply
hmm
because Pittsburgh is going to have to be
Finally, a good
flexing.
Monday night game.
Yeah, I know.
Finally.
After 3 or 4 weeks of just terrible Monday night football games, we finally get a good one.
hmm
Pittsburgh's defense, which is going to be depleted apparently if James Harrison doesn't appeal this suspension, which
He'll
I'm
he'll
sure he
probably
will.
still be suspended because this isn't the NFL anymore. We don't play football. We play pansy ball with little girls because we don't hit each other.
James Harrison has been suspended 1 game for a helmet-to-helmet hit, and we'll hit on that in a third show coming up, which we're just going to hit the issues
hmm
for the week. San Francisco, big loss against Arizona. It's a loss in a division, but we're sitting here and we're in week 15 of the NFL season, and they have still yet to allow
Still
a
no
rushing
rushing
touchdown.
touchdowns. That's disturbing. That's a feat in and of itself. Winning the Super Bowl, that's a huge, huge feat. Tons of teams that do it. No team in the history of the NFL has ever gone a full season and not allowed a rushing touchdown. I'd rather have that one. That's
Any
that's one stat that nobody will ever have, probably.
anybody going to argue for Harbaugh as coach of the year?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. What he did with Alex Smith is has impressed me beyond belief.
I'm going to take the 49ers at home. I said this a few weeks ago. I'm not going to pick against the 49ers the rest of the regular
I'm
season.
gonna have to take the Steelers on this one. Big Ben shows me that in pressure situations he can shine, and if San Francisco is up by 7 points in the fourth quarter, I will feel completely safe taking Big Ben in this position.
But that's it for week 15 of the NFL season. Be sure to check out the week 14 recap, which Jeremy and Matt have already filmed, and you should already check it out on YouTube.
And they have a special guest spot, I believe, of the Squawking Seagulls. It's a flock of seagulls tribute band.
But we do have a little bit of information to give you
Yes,
guys.
we do. As of right now, the expected date looks like July 18th.
Bryce is going to
Bryce,
be a
I will
daddy.
be a papa. July
Yeah.
July 18th right now is the delivery date, so we'll update with a new one as we go along if it updates, if it moves or anything. But yeah, July 18th
Congratulations,
looks
buddy.
like I will be a papa. That is terrifying. That is scary. I will be in charge of a human life.
For the future father, Bryce, and for myself, this has been Sports Love Week 15.